Okay.
So if you can prior to that, just tell me the agenda or the things.
Okay.
What you are
So
planning.
basically, we are tasked with, how do you say, finding out how the program at Feed has been, like the training program at Feed has been. We are discussing it with the founders, like startups who are already into their cohort right now, and we are trying to
Okay.
find out how can we improve it further. And that's the first part, and the second part is to know about more about the startups, what business they are into, who their clientele is, and like teams, revenues, and all that stuff. So
Got it.
there's like two-part discussion basically.
Okay. And where it will be used then, by the way?
The
Just
first
for the
part will be
improvements?
specifically for the improvements. The second part
Okay.
will be we are collecting a database actually, like
Okay.
which could be referred back. Yeah.
Got it. Makes sense. Makes sense.
Okay.
So we can
So
get the ball rolling. Yeah.
yeah. Before I like get the ball rolling, I'll like to know more about like what do you do in your startup.
Sure, sure, sure. So, I am basically academically a chartered accountant and a BCom honors fellow. So, I happen to be an HR by default, essentially. I am into human resources since last 8 years. So, what I do is I am running an HR agency by the name of SMBA Consultants. So SMBA Consultants is mostly an HR agency which helps companies in the right team building process. So when I talk about the right team building process, it includes hiring, selection, payrolling, and all those activities. So that is the primary, agenda for SMBA consultants. So we are having 35 units on a pan India basis. So we can call it as our branches because we call them as franchise units. So it is more like McDonald's and Subway in the service industry. So we are into SMB consultants, and the reason why I got in touch with IA Kashipur for the feed cohort is essentially because of co-founders planet. So when we were actually into SMB consultants, we realized that we also need to cater to another segment, which is essentially very much untouched, which is actually the startup segment. So if you actually see the startup segment, they struggle with one big problem, that is team building. So when you talk to the startup owners and you pitch them, say about SMBA consultants, we went up to them, we told them, hey, we can solve your problem of right team building. They had two issues with that also. They said, one, we cannot afford salaries. When they are building the core team, they need to have senior people on board. So they cannot afford the salaries of these senior people. Part two, they cannot also afford the hefty consultancy fees, which actually SMBA consultancy charges. So any consultancy normally charges close to 1 month of salary as their consultancy fees. So these two were actually the burning problems due to which co-founders planet started. So co-founders planet, if I talk about, it is nothing but a co-founder matching platform. So it is a matchmaking platform wherein a startup owner comes and finds another mate and can actually book their appointment and can also meet with them. So in the platform itself, everything will be done. So, my friend jokingly say it is a shadi.com for the startups. Okay. So that is what Co-Founders Planet is all about.
Okay. Okay, that's so basically you're all it's like uh, from SMVA consultants, you like got this idea of co-founders planet.
Uh, you can say actually with the problem the idea came. So the
Mm-hmm.
anything that is getting triggered as a company, I always advise the budding entrepreneurs as well. If there is a genuine problem you see in the market, and if you see there is a solution that is not existing to the fullest, and you weave around your business idea around that. So if in the story which I said to you, the problem was startup not finding the exact co-founder on equity. So my point is we promote co-founders on equity. We do not say come only on salary. You can meet the co-founders because now is the time when India is also becoming a very mature startup market. They are
Mm-hmm.
growing like anything. So here also you can actually find each other on equity also, who can invest their time, not only money against money but against equity. So the barter deal in a way is happening not against the salary but against the equity.
Okay. So like, how do you match the co-founders? Like there are different type of startups. There could be tech startups. There could be let's say just agricultural startups, which I am Kashipur is sponsoring. Then there are like
Correct.
a plethora of startups. Like different kinds of
Absolutely.
industries. So how do you like like perform this matchmaking?
Correct. So, what we do is we are having sector, industry, and domain wise division of the startups as well as the founders. So, what happens is you will have, say, advertising startups, you will have tech startups, you will have agri startups, you will have HR startups. So, what happens is these people can actually, these all profiles will be listed. So it will be like A, B, C, D. One is belonging to this, that, that. Plus their LinkedIn profile will also be mapped. In a way, you will be able to see the entire profile summary of that candidate. Now, when you see the profile summary of the candidate, that is one check that is done. That is the one thing that you might like or you might not like. So if you like, then the second step will be there is an option to book the calendar of that person. So you can actually book the meeting with that person, and on meeting through the platform itself, say after you meet them, you will be in a much better position to judge yourself whether your vision and your idea matches with the other person's vision. So to break the answer into two halves, one is the sectoral or the industrial division. Second is the meeting element. So the meeting element is also very critical along with the profile. So if you see these details, then you are in a much better position to judge whether you like or you do not like that person in your company.
Okay. Uh, so do you like do some kind of KYC to find out like they are the authentic profiles or something like that?
Yes, yes. So what happens is whoever actually joins the platform, they need to first of all fill their details, and we from the back end authenticate them. We authenticate through our various parameters, our various checks are there, through which we do our thorough analysis. And once we internally give a green signal, then only you can be logged into the platform. So the
Okay.
people who are actually coming in are not like anyone and everyone, any Tom, Dick, Harry can join the platform. These candidates or the people who come into the platform are, authenticated people. And not only that, the idea is not only we have already added two more services. One is the co-founders on equity, which I already stated. The other two are advisors on hourly payments. So this is also an issue. Say a startup owner wants the advisor to be there. Okay, that okay, I need say a mentor, an advisor who can handhold me. So that also you can have who is the domain expert in that area. Third is we are also giving you vetted service providers. So again, this is again a big problem of the startup. They and do not end up say if you are say from agri, so you might not be having the full idea of finance, or a finance guy might not be having the tech idea. So what do? You either outsource it to somebody or you have your own team. So at the initial stage, you might not afford your own team. So what do? You outsource it to some agency. So those agencies also, the list we provide, we vet them, we authenticate them, and we provide the startup list to the startup owners also. So
Okay.
we are helping the startups in three ways. One is co-founders on equity, second is advisors on hourly payments, and third is the vetted service providers.
Okay. So like what kind of team do you have in place right now to manage all these stuff?
Correct. So, since I had been fortunate enough to have the background of SMBA consultants, so I have one co-founder in place who is from IIT Kharagpur. So he is my co-founder. I am the founder for Co-Founders Planet. Apart from that, we are definitely leveraging, the team which is there or the network that we have with SMBA consultants.
Okay.
But just to keep the lean startup methodology intact, because we believe in that, not to have much expenses and much burden in co-founders planet. So we are honestly fully utilizing our own resources of SMBA consultants mostly.
Okay. So why a second, like it could have been a division within the SMB consultants. Why did you like go out and make a new company altogether?
Correct. Very, very good question, Pulkit, I must say. So, essentially, the idea behind SMBA consultants is payment. So, the actually matchmaking, or it's any company who likes to have manpower, they would like to mostly deal on salary payments, right? So, the idea for co-founders planet is not salary payment. So in a way, we are discouraging people from not taking services, or the startups actually not taking services from SMBA consultants. So you can understand in a way. So it is more like, yes, you cannot afford SMBA consultants, come to us. So
Yeah.
can you understand? So in the same umbrella, we cannot actually promote two
Yeah,
fighters
it will be a
in the
conflict of
same ring.
interest. Yeah.
So it will exactly be the same. So the problem statement initially started with that okay, people cannot afford one, the salary payment, second, the service cost of SMB consultants. So how can we have another division who fights with the major agenda?
Okay.
And
So
can you relate to that
yeah,
as well?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Perfectly.
Yes.
Okay. So like when did you launch this startup, Co-Founders Planet?
So I would say Co-Founders Planet idea was initiated in March itself in this 2020. Okay, wherein we started talking to the startup owners. So I was a part of startup school also, the Y Combinator one, wherein I spoke to close to 100 startups, and I spoke to them and I discussed about this idea. You will not believe, Pulkit, more than 98% of the startups told me, take my number, once that platform is launched, give me a bus. So they were
Okay.
all so crazy, and they were
Mm-hmm.
all like, boss, I need a co-founder like anything. Some was from a tech background, somebody want, hey, I'm
Mm-hmm.
from tech, I need a finance fellow. Somebody was from finance, they needed a tech co-founder. So this was such a craze that time. And then later on, what we did, we also spoke to some of the industry stalwarts. We spoke to the Tide Chair. We spoke to many big people from the industry, and we spoke about this problem. We just told them how easy is to find a co-founder and how do you find one. I still remember that question, and that those questions answers are still there on our social media handles. So we spoke to close to 10 to 12 big shots, and we got collated all those questions and answers, and we circulated them. That okay, this is actually the problem. So once everyone started identifying the problem and relating to the problem, then we thought let's work around the plan. Now,
Mm-hmm.
when we initiated the plan, we also launched our show, a talk show by the name of Kaam Ki Baat. So, Kaam Ki Baat talk show was basically surrounded around logical positivity. And one of the topics in Kaam Ki Baat was also this about the co-founders matching and all those. And then, luckily, this we also applied to KAshipur, and we got selected there among 1,200 applications. So that was also a good booster, because to be very honest, the initial plan of Co-Founders Planet, though the idea was co-founders matching, but the shape that it has taken now after that gruesome 200 plus hours of training is something else, I must say. So now, after the entire training from KAshipur, the product that we will be launching in next 10 days, so we are hoping to launch within October itself, the entire platform. So we also are in that stage. So the platform will be launched, but parallelly, since the platform was not ready, we launched our WhatsApp community. So in the WhatsApp community, we already started building this network of advisors, startups, co-founders. So what happens in the WhatsApp group itself, the people are actually putting their co-founder requirement. So it is more like Mr. A is putting his co-founder requirement that he is
Mm-hmm.
running a digital marketing agency. He wants that. So we already started the giving the market the feeler of co-founders.
Okay. So
So I mean that has been the journey till now, I would say.
okay. So you'll be launching a product in October, like in next 10 days, you said.
Yes.
So I
End
assume,
October, yeah.
have you like had any kind of what do you say, prototyping, like some kind of test? Uh,
Yes. So I would say this particular product that we are launching is at the stage wherein we will be charging $99 per annum or $19 per month. That is the entry fees for launch for logging into the platform. But our market penetration strategy, just I would like to share with you, since you are also from the I'm Kashipur only. So I can actually tell you the penetration strategy is very simple: to give to close to 110 users the entry free, so that we can collect the feedbacks from our platform, for our platform, from these people, because it is very very important. We cannot expect that platform to be ready at one go. So once they give us the feedback, the platform is in one stack, one technology. So we might think of upgrading the technology, upgrading the user experience. So all those are a part and parcel of the user experience. And I would say once we start collating the feedback from these 100 users, then we will again come with the version one of the product. Then we will go with the version two of the product. So we will keep on upgrading ourselves there. But that is how the plan we have structured it.
Okay, so basically, right now you're in like creating the first prototype, the first
Uh,
version of the prototype.
I don't know. I don't know. I am very bad at these terminologies like being a prototype, MVP, and all those stuff. But yes, how I see it is, the community launching has been done, the awareness has been spread, and now the idea is the product launch will be happening, the version one of the product. That is how
Okay.
we actually in our board talk about it, as in our internal team, that it is the version one of the product. Let the audience get the feeler of it, and then we
Mm-hmm.
might go for the version 2 of the product,
Okay.
and so on and so forth.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay. Then, like, are you bootstrapped, or like, what is your funding sources? Like, have you raised any
It's
funding?
no, nothing. See, I'll tell you one thing very honestly. Every startup owner is a fan of Shark Tank, right? So we all have sort of grown up watching Shark Tank and all those things. So we all know that the respect for an idea stage entity is very very less, right? So
Mm-hmm.
similarly, when you talk about co-founders planet, it is again an idea stage entity. So if to be very honest, if somebody comes to me with the idea only, I might also scrap the idea, because it is all about, we got this line from our batches only. It is all about 1% idea, 99% execution.
Yeah.
So what we want to do is we want to have those 100 users on our platform, and then go to the users or probably the investors and say, hey, this is where we stand and this is what we have done on our own. This is our own money that we have invested. We have actually done this. Now we require your support, your mentoring, your guidance to bring it to the next level. So we
Mm-hmm.
always believe, let us do that and then only go to the investor stage, because I do not feel that this is the right time to, in an ideation stage wherein too much of iterations, reiteration is
Mm-hmm.
happening. I'm not too sure this is the right time. But yes,
Okay.
since we are sort of ready, so I would say once the platform is launched and the responses come in, so I'm pretty sure that next month, say November mid onwards, we will
Mm-hmm.
be inviting good investor applications.
Okay. So, like, going forward, what would be your strategy? Will you be targeting like organic growth, or like you'll be going for inorganic growth? Like, what have you
So it
planned
will
so
be a
far?
combination of both essentially. So what will happen is, we will be going for the paid mediums as well, the paid marketing channels, and we will also depend on these, the startup enablers actually.
Mm-hmm.
So since our platform is, we call it a startup for startups. So wherever we will see this bunch of startups, we will hit those areas. So I mean, in India currently, or in the startup ecosystem, who all like cohorts, all these kind of cohorts, all these bunch of startups where you can see them with either accelerators, you can see them either with incubators, or with the investors per se. Investors have got, each of them, fat investors have got a big pool of say 50 to 100 startups.
Mm-hmm.
So what is our simple aim is to probably tap them and probably sort of co-work with them and see how we can help these startups from them. So if we
Okay.
are actually successfully tapping these startup enablers, and then through those enablers we can actually go on working and get our customers from there too. So it is a simple idea of customer focus, being very customer centric, and we know where the customers are.
All right. So, is there anything else like you would want to hear about your startup? Like I think we have covered
Yes.
basic things.
So yes, so one more idea that we are in the co-founder segment itself, we were planning to actually boost the Indian startup ecosystem and the entrepreneurship circle. So we were also planning for a new segment of foreign startups. So what will happen is we also want to promote in a way the global startups, the startups who are not from India, who are looking for say co-founders, advisors, or service providers from India. So we
Mm-hmm.
also eventually see this platform as a startup from say Hong Kong is having a co-founder from India.
Okay.
You get that idea, that feel of
Mm-hmm.
the inter country marriages sort of an idea. So that is also a big plan that we
Mm-hmm.
are having. So it is more about how the response comes from the first say the launching of the platform, what are the learnings that we get, and what
Mm-hmm.
all we can actually cover from there. So that is also a very very integral part.
Okay. Like, have you thought about some kind of marketing strategy apart from like what targeting the WhatsApp community and targeting startup enablers?
Yes, of course, the digital marketing is a very, very
Mm,
big part of it. So if I talk about the digital marketing, our pillar, the pillar for raising this platform will be LinkedIn, of course. So LinkedIn being the place where, more than 700 million people are there. So we will be definitely targeting the LinkedIn as one of them. And then we will be going for the other, the social handles like say Facebook, Instagram might not be that useful for us, by the way. So we will be going for Facebook advertisement because Facebook advertisement will be very huge. And plus, we will
mhm,
also go for the full marketing from the Google AdWords. So all these things are also a part of the entire marketing penetration. Plus, we also thought of, we have already started doing that, say, partnering with the colleges and their events per se, and we have been sponsoring the prizes. Say, for example, my own college, St. Xavier's, we 1 month back, we actually sponsored an event wherein for all the winners, we gave them free services of co-founders plan. So what
okay.
actually happens is, you are in a way being happy. Say you are a part of your own college in as a probably prize or probably what do you say, an enabler, and parallelly you are also getting your own target from there. So in a way, the winners from there will be startups, right? So the startups will also be coming to us to actually take and take the services of co-founders planet.
Okay.
So these are some of the tips
Mhm.
and bits which we will be involving the ideas that we will be using for market penetration.
Okay. So that I think covers everything about the startup part. Now coming to the training program at Field, what are your like thoughts, suggestions, review, basically?
Okay, so the point is the IIM tag itself is carrying too much of weightage. Okay, to be very brutally honest with you, if somebody joins IIM, I mean any of the chapters, be it Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Kashipur, Rohtak, in anywhere. Okay, IIM itself carries a big, big thing. So, I think we also need to see how the startups are giving it back to the ecosystem. It should not be that they come into the platform and just they ride the name of IIM. So, that is again a very, very important thing which can be ascertained as an interview process. Okay. So, I'm pretty sure, see, for us also, there was a video as in the videos were taken, the idea, the deck was taken before we were selected. But I certainly feel that, the initial application process can be further, I would say, filtered down to get more and more, rather, I cannot commit as serious or non-serious, but the quality wise, I mean, I would say that that is something once we get the refining done. So the video interviews and what are the expectations with which they come up with, and all those things rather can also be like the interview discussion can also be a pre session interview sort of a thing. So that if that can be enabled, that will definitely help our feed community also. Because now I am jolly well a part of a feed. I consider myself an integral part of the feed too. Because I have, sort of taken that alumni status, I can say, after doing that small course, the mini MBA program sort of thing. Yes, so that is one filtration criteria I would definitely advice which can be added. Second is, it always is for us, it was a virtual session. So it was more like a barter between the experience and convenience, I would say. So, it was convenient for us, but yes, what the professors have been saying, I mean, the physical presence is unbeatable. I mean, the peer learning that you get and in campus, the kind of feeler that you have. So obviously confined in this window, a small window of 16-inch or 18-inch, you cannot actually get that kind of a
Yeah.
feel of the entire episode. So I would definitely say it was, a barter between convenience and experience. So that is also again a part that I would like to say for at least the virtual 2020 batch, because that is how Corona has given it to us.
Yeah, it is true. We are actually understanding all of it, like going through it.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So, if on a scale of 10, you would have to rate like the training program, what would be your rating be?
So it would be more like a 7.5 to 8 kind of a rating.
Okay. One thing I like want to understand more is like you said that IM tag carries a big weight, right? And you were talking about the quality. So is it like tell me if I'm comprehending it right or wrong? Like is it that the quality of the cohort right now, you think that it could be enhanced further?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
The
All
quality
right.
of the cohort can be enhanced further more because when people are virtual, so it does not see, if I talk about some of the examples wherein the professors also could not see the faces of all, right?
Mhm.
So you might not see. One more thing that might be an important case, because the entrepreneurs are running entrepreneurs, they are also say working, so it also becomes very very important. It becomes difficult at the same time for the entrepreneurs to spend time in learning as well as say working and earning their bread.
Yeah.
So that might also be one of the points which has to be considered, to be very honest.
Okay. So why did you choose to
So
be
when
part?
somebody is in campus, then probably nobody will be able to do something else.
Yeah, that is definitely there. As you said, barter between convenience and experience. That's
Correct.
definitely there.
Correct.
So why did you choose to be a part of Feed? Apart from, as I understood, you were trying to tap into the startup enabler thing. That is one. Then second, because of the tag that I am is according to their feed. And what else made you like choose Feed?
See, I'll be very honest to you. I have done my BCom and I've done my chartered accountancy. So the next part has to be something done with the MBA degree. So I definitely now cannot afford to invest my 2 years into something. Now considering the COVID times and everything, a mini MBA program is the best thing which somebody like me can actually get. Plus, I always wanted to learn from the professors. So, I mean, that particular thing, I always had that feeling, hey, what can an IM professor tell you, man? I mean, how
Mhm.
can the failure rate of the startup is so low when somebody is having an IM tag? So, IM tag is not only because of the, say, I will be called an IM fellow. No. My role was what kind of learnings I can derive from this entire thing. So my idea was learning from the whole, the professors there. So I definitely enjoyed the sessions of the real doers. I mean the people, the industry entrepreneurs. But I parallelly also wanted to hear the professors speaking.
Mhm.
So I mean that was also my inherent wish. I can say that okay, I will have to study from the probably the professors of IIM. And I mean I would should certainly say that their approach, the approach of IIM is no doubt very niche as well as very crystal clear, I would say. So the approach, I would say, see somebody, I remember an incident. So I somebody asked a question to a professor. Professor upfront told, boss, this is not my subject. I'm not an expert in this subject. So I do not want to give you an answer, but I can recommend you Mr. X who will have your class on this date. Attend that class and you will get your answer on that date. So, I mean, I cannot expect this transparency, man. I mean, how can somebody be so candid and on the face and say, I do not know the answer? I mean, you need balls to actually sort of agree to that as well, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, this quality and the small things that we learn from the classes and their approach towards life as well. So we had one of the good professors, Professor Ashish Kumar was there. So he had this fun element. He used to always end his entire session with a small story. So trust me, Pulkit, I mean, the story had too much to say. I mean, it was echoing his own personality. So how good he is as a human being and what he had, that had life lessons, man. I mean, not only the lessons which we get in the, study or the curriculum, but it had real life lessons. So these are some things which I believe what I am gives you, and that is why I'm not disappointed. I would say.
Okay. So one of the last questions, in this, it's not about training program, it's about the startup. I missed it earlier. Who are your competitors right now for the co-founders planet?
Okay. So co-founders planet, the plan that we are doing, I would not say competitor, but I would say the people who are already startup enablers. So these people can also organize something like this. So I remember there was an investor who came in our this thing, our one of the sessions itself in field. I mean, my co-founder sent it to me. Hey, these guys are also doing something like a founders dating platform. So they were not doing a platform, but they were doing an event first. So he immediately told me, "Hey, they are also doing founders dating." So that was an event, as I said, but as a platform, see, it can be small pieces of the same idea. So idea is ideally founders dating, right? So that is what we are promoting. So founders dating can also be done by these enablers, the all the enablers, startup enablers as small events also. I mean, that is one piece which I can see. I mean, rest, there is one definitely a big name in the industry which is running in the US, that is Co-Founders Lab, which is again a very big name in the industry. So some people who relates Co-Founders Planet, hears about Co-Founders Planet, immediately say, hey, are you doing something like Co-Founders Lab? But no, I mean, Co-Founders Lab and Co-Founders Planet are two different entities and with different vision as well as e-meeting feature and all those many differences are there. Not only that, but I mean, remotely, if we talk about these, can be seen as sort of remote competitors.
Okay. Okay. I think that would be all from my side. Any like last words or like we can end the discussion?
Sure, all the best, man. I mean, enjoy your phase in I am Kashipur. I don't know when the batches and everything will start itself.
No, they
Have
have
they announced
started
anything?
calling. Yeah, yeah, they have started calling people.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping that they started off. So for us, it is like December. They were telling that they will be having a sort of demo day wherein all these investors will be there. So I'm hoping that the Corona things and all those get subsided, and we see you at the campus.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Let's meet at the campus then. Let's be hopeful.
Sure.
Thanks a lot for your time, Gaurav. Uh,
Thank you so much, Pulkit. Nice interacting with you. Indeed.
Thanks a lot. So I'll end the session now. Tata.
Yes.
Bye.
Okay.